when she saw it, that little boy would probably not be with us much longer. So, thank you, ma'am.
As you can see, it was a very emotional situation for our staff, for our detectives, seasoned veteran officers of this agency. That's how appalling this situation was. Now we'll turn it over to our hero. Please.
So I was working at the restaurant that night, and a family came in like a regular family. So we start serving them, and I observed that everyone received the food, but not the kid. And this kept my attention, and I went to the table to ask if was something wrong with the food, with the order. And the man told me that no, that was everything fine, and that the boy is going to have his dinner at home that night. So, and I'm a mother also, and this was very strange to me, because you don't deny food for a kid, especially in a restaurant. So, and in this time, the boy was using a hoodie, a mask, and a glass. So we was not able to see much of his face. But I could see that he had a big scratch on between his eyebrows. And a couple minutes later, I saw some bruise on his the side of his eyes, and after bruises here. So I feel that something really wrong was happened there with the kid. And I start thinking what I should do and what I could do. So thank God he was sitting in the only chair that I was able to show him a sign, because he could see me, but the parents don't. So I wrote a sign asking him if he was okay, and he nodded no. But I knew it, that he is afraid or he's not comfortable saying that he needs help. A couple minutes later, I wrote another sign asking him if he needs help. And this is when he nodded yes, and make a movement with his hand like that, showing that he didn't know what to do. And was when I called 911, and a couple minutes later, the police came in and took over the situation in an amazing way. And thanks God, the boy is safe now.
So I'm sure you have a lot of questions for her, but before we turn it over to her for questions, we'll bring the owner of the restaurant. The restaurant is called Miss Potato, and the owner can tell you, based on her observation, what her thoughts also were.
Hello, my name is Rafaela, and I'm the owner of Mrs. Potato. There were lots of coincidences that led to she seeing the situation and being able to speak up. We truly believe that this was a holy provision, and we are very blessed that we were able to help this child. She was not on schedule on that day. She was not supposed to be working. We had an employee who called out her as being a manager. She went in. It was the last table of the day. It was New Year's Day, very busy indeed. If this family were to come at 8 o'clock, we would have 10, 20 tables. Everybody would be running around, and maybe there wouldn't be enough time to see the details. Out of all the tables in the restaurant, this was the only table that she was able to communicate with someone sitting on the table without the other people in the table seeing her. So the only reason she was able to put up those notes was because they were sitting on that table. More than that, the position where the boy was at, it was a 6-seat table. He was sitting on the only seat where she could have access to having visual contact with him without being noticed by the others. We are extremely proud. We understand that this has to encourage other people. When you see something, say something. We know that when we face a situation that we see it's wrong, we know what's the right thing to do. We know that speaking up is the right thing to do. But it takes more than acknowledging. It takes courage. And this is what she definitely had. People avoid confrontation. We are always like in doubt. What if he just fell? What if it's, I mean, as she described, he had a hoodie, he had a mask, he had glasses on. She could only see a very little part of his face. He had long sleeves. She could see maybe a couple of inches of his arm. Yet she was able to notice that something was wrong. And she with no doubt, she called and she said, "What do I do? She put up the notes and she said, do I call the police?" And I was like, yes. And I was in a very comfortable position. I was over the phone saying, yes, call the police. It's comfortable. I wasn't going to have any confrontations. She was there. She was there with the family. She was there to wait for the police. We didn't know how this was going to turn out, yet she had no doubt about what had to be done. So thank you. I just have to say, not only in my name and my staff's name, but I think I will share the whole community thought. We are very proud of you. You saved the boy's life. I'm a mother as well, and I have a 6-year-old and a 21-year-old, and it's hard not to relate. It brings us to tears to think that someone can do that to a child, and to think that it should be the people that should be protecting. I thank law enforcement and the laws of this country that will take action, and this child will have a better future. And I'm proud to say that the core values of the business that I so much am proud of is there, which is we do not only serve food, we serve our community. So speak up. You